What's the deal? I'm Dale Cover. Welcome to another episode of The Green Room. In this episode, I like to address Kobe Bryant memes. This episode is brought to you by the Overbooked app. The Overbooked app is the quickest and simplest way for artists to go from opening act to star of the show by building an engaged fan base in 3 simple steps. Head on over to overbookedapp.com and download the app and get overbooked today. Now, as you all know, the late, great, legendary Kobe Bryant passed away in a helicopter crash. He and his daughter, 7 others on the flight. Our hearts go out to all those involved and all the families and all those that he's touched around the world. One of the things that was disturbing were memes. You know, the internet has no chill. The memes came flying. And a lot of people were offended. A lot of people were upset. A lot of people said too soon. But a lot of people say, hey, it's right on time. It's comedy. It's humor. This is what we do. So I wanted to talk about that just a little bit. Personally, I truly believe that there is humor to be found in every situation, but the key is empathy. There are a lot of memes floating around social media, some very disrespectful, really disrespectful. A lot of people were offended. A lot of people got cut off, got blocked. And I'm talking about from comics. I'm talking about from comedians. I'm talking about people whose job it is to stand in front of people and make you laugh. So I personally believe that there is a certain responsibility that the comedian, that the gesture has in a society. Everyone knows that the gesture has the ear to the king. He's the guy that's able to talk to the king. And he's the guy or girl that's able to say things that others can't say. In rare situations, it's off with your head, right? But for the most part, that's what the gesture is there to do. And humor is that metaphorical gesture, so to speak. And so with humor, I believe the role of the comedian is to be the voice of the people. Speak for the people. Say what the people want to say in the way only that a comedian can do. So I believe empathy is the key to being able to be successful, especially when you're diving into these tough topics. Empathy meaning, let me explain it this way. In every story, there's a hero and there's a villain. In every story, there's a hero and a villain. As a comic, it is my belief, if you side with the audience and let them know that you are with them in attacking the villain and bringing down the villain and fighting the villain, I think you set yourself up to win. And I think you set yourself up and position yourself and you're in line with what a comic is trying to do. I really believe that. I think the problem I see with some comedians is they make the beloved the villain. That's the problem with some of the Kobe Bryant memes that I've seen. Some of the memes that I see, technically, but you know, on this channel, that's what we do, right? Break down comedy, break down jokes, look at some of the technical aspects and just kind of have fun with it, right? That's what we do. Technically, I'm not going to show any of the memes here. I'm just not going to show any. But the memes that I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen some, they're out there. Technically, are they good, valid jokes? Are they solid premises do they follow the rules of logic? Absolutely. The biggest problem I had is that the butt of the joke, that's what I mean when I say villain, the butt of the joke was Kobe. I feel like that's a problem for this reason and this reason alone. the majority of the people empathize with Kobe. This is a national incident, a national tragedy. National meaning East Coast to West Coast, from east to west, north to south, global even, because Kobe was a global icon. So you have a greater majority of the world, those that have come across this information, empathizing on the side of Kobe and his family and the loved ones. And you got to also remember, people, when we see these things, we empathize because we put ourselves in this situation. I have 2 kids. Wow, he went down in a plane crash. One of the things that goes to my mind, man, that was me. How would my family get, right? We empathize. We don't just see and say, that was it. We put ourselves in that situation. We can actually feel like if that was us. So when you put a meme out where the butt of the joke, the victim in this crash is the butt of the joke, you're going to get a small subset of people versus the greater majority of the people, the greater majority of the world. Now, that small subset of people that like that type of humor, they're going to ride with you and they're going to appreciate it. And so in itself, being objective, I could say, yeah, I seen some things that were interesting in itself. There's dark humor. There's a whole genre, I guess you can call it, of comedy, dark humor. These people would appreciate that. I can even appreciate some dark humor. I'm sure we all can appreciate some, yeah. And I think a big part of it is timing, right? That's what they mean when they say too soon. Not now, but maybe later. You know, and that's what I mean when I say every situation always has some humor can be found in almost any situation, I believe. I believe that. Maybe not right now, maybe later, you know? But I would say to those that want to find some success and looking for some advice and guidance on which direction to go with your comedy, if you would ask me, I would say go the way of the side of empathy. Okay? So the villain, in a situation like this, a villain could be the media, could be the helicopter manufacturers, could be death, the idea of death, the Grim Reaper, the thing that we all hate, the thing that we all want to fight against, the thing that scares us all. That's the villain, and that's the villain. So when you make those things the villain in your joke, the people that to be on the side and be the voice for the people, they'll accept your joke. They'll pick up what you're putting down. But if you go out and you stand in front of people and you make the subject, the victim, the villain, you're going to have a very hard time in a wider crowd, in a wider audience. You can always go into your small little subgroup and do these things and say these things and talk about different races and ethnic groups and sexual orientation. You can do all of that stuff. It's all good. As long as you're in your group, which is cool. So you have a choice. Be the man or the woman or be popular in a small niche. That's an option. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Step outside that niche, you're going to find yourself, you're going to have a problem. And that's really it. That's really all I have to say. So definitely leave me a comment. I'm sure if you watch this video and you listen to what I said, either you jive with it, you don't jive with it, you had to think something. Leave me a comment. I'm out, guys. All right, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so we can catch up on the next one. All right, my name is Dale Kova. This has been another episode of The Green Room. Peace.